Okay, so I said I wasn't going live. Look, I'm trying to put together this IKEA table, and I really shouldn't be live right now. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to stand up this phone. Now, mind you, and repping with my bears on, I'm trying to get this home office together for Rootwork 201 that's coming up this weekend. Can y'all hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me because the microphone may be covered. Can y'all hear me? Say something. Somebody hit yes so you can hear me. Good. All right. Because I've got it it's really weird. But anyway, I'm trying to put this damn IKEA table together. But I just had and I'm sweating. Oh my God. And I'm repping my bears. Look, I just had the most amazing reading with a childhood friend of mine. Me and this girl go back to when I was younger than my daughter. I was 14 when I met her. This girl was a person who told me that my baby daddy, who I foolishly went back to 15 years later, was cheating on me. We immediately became friends. And so all these years have passed, and we are two people who are probably in situations. Hey, Corinne, you better come through this weekend. I better see you and your girl this weekend. It's going to be on and popping. The Ohio Black Witch Circle right here in the house this weekend with the Rootwork 201 participants. But I got to get back to my high school friend. And Nikki Boz, I'm going to have her see you because she's an instructional design person. Needless to say, both of us really came up. She was from K-Town. I'm from the west side of Chicago. I finished my master's degree. She finished her PhD. Okay? And when I tell y'all that we were probably the last two folks on earth, literally, we laughed about it because we were like, now, if we was in high school talking about she was going to be a PhD and I was going to have a master's degree and practice voodoo, we'd have laughed and hollered and cried and told whoever said that nonsense to us that they was lying. So trust me, anything can happen in your life. So here we are on the precipice of a half a century, and I'm giving her a reading. So you know what happens when a sister gets a lot of education. You look for a job and people don't want to hire you. And it can be very, very distressing. But I had to let her know because I've been in this position. I was talking to a 26-year-old tonight that I did a reading for, and she had no idea that in 2009 I lost my job, my uterus, and probably my mind. But a transformation happened. It was like the death card, the tower card, all the wheel of fortune all at once. And I had to, I know I wasn't. I shouldn't. I need y'all to come over here and help me get this place together. It's just, everything's everywhere. It's going to be all right. But I lost everything. And I know that I went through a lot of times when I looked for a job that I really wanted, and I couldn't get that job. One of the things, though, I was old enough to realize is, at that point, I was 40, 41, something like that. And I realized that I can't go to bed. I got to put together a table because another one of my friends from way back blessed me with a sublimation printer that will enable me to make pretty much any t-shirt I want. And I'm on low battery, so I got to hurry up because I can't plug in and talk to you, and it's just too complicated. But I wanted to make this quick. There's another sister, and she's got this really long, beautiful name, and I just posted a link to her video on my page, and it's about the law of attraction. And what I tried to tell my friend is, don't worry, because I know you wanted that job at that other place. I know that you wanted, some type of security, but that wasn't for you. That one thing Trinity's grandmother used to always tell me, her dad's mama, who I love tremendously and got to see last week, is what's for you is for you, and to trust your first mind. She's old school, was Baptist to Catholic, back to Baptist again. But those are very, very metaphysical types of things to say to somebody. Trust that first mind. Trust that third eye. Trust that Holy Spirit. Trust that God in you. When you hear something in your spirit, pay attention to it. Because every time I didn't, I messed myself up. The second thing is the spirit of defeat. See, I don't believe in like physical like being of Satan. I believe like Unity Church teaches, Satan is ignorance. Satan is the spirit of defeat. Satan can even be the spirit of depression. And you combine that with a chemical mental illness, because mental illnesses can be spiritual as well as physical. But if you find yourself in the spirit of defeat, there's no way that the spirit of faith can live. So if you're sitting here and she's still in the church, and God bless her. If you're still talking about feeling defeated, how can faith live with defeat? There are some things that are not consistent or irreconcilable for cohabitation, and defeat and faith are two of those things, okay? And we were talking about, just understanding, and we should know better now, okay? Jesus be a defibrillator, right? Jumpstart your life. We talk about things in the church that are very, very close to things that are practiced in, say, hoodoo or conjure. Like when I was in the church, you would put your petitions on a paper, all your pains, all your problems, write them down and go nail them on the cross. I said the only difference is we set ours on fire. That's the way we send them to the universe. But what we have to do is we have to, once again, let go and let God. We can't live in a spirit of defeat and have faith that things are going to get better. And we've been through enough, and that's what I had to remind her. And that's what I'm pressed to remind you today, because I felt like preaching just a little bit. Trouble don't last always. So if you realize you've gone through stuff before, like that person you thought you'd die without, look at you living. You're alive. You're walking. You're breathing. You can do it. And so I told her, when you think about where we came from, west side of Chicago, we shouldn't even have what we have. And then she told me a really interesting story. Stop holding on to the past. She had been divorced for years. Her kids are grown. Her son is studying like astrophysics or something crazy like that. I went and spoke a word to her daughter when she was working at Whole Foods. I said, why don't you get out of here? You ain't got no kids. You can go anywhere, be anything. I'm like, do you like kids? She said, yeah. I said, be an au pair for some rich people. And I'd be doggoned if that girl didn't do it. She's been in Boston for the past 5 years. So here my girlfriend is, an empty nester, fresh PhD, new boyfriend, new fiance, new life. I'm like, well, why are you trying to stay where you've always been? It was funny because she never used to decorate her apartment either, because she felt like, I'm just going to be here for a moment. She showed me her place, and it is absolutely gorgeous because she took that time where she wasn't working and she didn't worry about money, and she made where she lived her paradise. I believe in making where you live your paradise. That's why I'm always doing stuff in my house. I like it to be my place of respite, because the rest of this world pretty much sucks. So when I come home, this is my temple. This is my church. This is the church for other people. So I'm going to make it pretty, and I'm going to make it comfortable, and I'm not going to feel guilty about living nicely. But she was telling me about her ex-husband. I'm going back to that. She got grown kids, y'all, okay? In college, out of college, traveling the world, the country. But she kept carrying this journal around. And it was the journal of the heartbreak of her first marriage. And so she'd gone to church, and they talked about breaking soul ties, which you can have with people. And it was so funny because when she went home, she said she was compelled by the Holy Spirit to pick up this journal. And God made her read every single thing in that journal and cry through it all and go through it all. And when it was done, she was instructed to destroy it, and she did. But the funny thing is, and what I told her was, you'd already been set free. You were set free years ago. You just chose to stay a prisoner. You chose to carry around those words. You chose to carry around that heartbreak. And the minute that she let it go, she was free. So most of the time, when it comes to hardships that we're going through in our life, there are some things that you just have no control over. Illness, certain things like that, even certain job losses, catastrophic things that we don't even ever see coming. And as a matter of fact, we don't worry about those things. We worry about stuff we could actually control. You can't live in a spirit of defeat. In order to have faith, in order to do this manifestation, that's what I was telling the young girl I spoke to tonight. If your life is in the toilet, you can't be a worker. You can't be a good worker. If you don't have your stuff together, how can you tell somebody else how to do it? Now, that doesn't mean you're perfect, because like I said before, Spirit's always like, oh, this is for you too, boo-boo. Thank you. That everything in your life is not perfect when you're a worker. In fact, you should have gone through your fair share of garbage in order to be an effective worker, because you have to have had that life experience. But there comes a time when you get to that place where your life isn't falling apart, your body isn't falling apart. Because y'all remember, my knee was broke down 3 weeks ago. I don't have a brace on anymore. I ain't been to physical therapy yet either, because I went to Chicago to get this printer that was gifted to me by a friend. Because I spoke it into the universe. I said, I'm going to get me a sublimation printer so I can make magical t-shirts for all my magical people. Whatever you wanted to say, black girl magic, you tried it, magical motherfucker, whatever you wanted to say, I want to be able to make it. And one of my girlfriends said, I have a free printer for you. All you got to do is come to the city and get it. So that's why I went to Chicago a couple of weeks ago. Speak it into existence. I read that Sugar Daddy spell, and there is a very famous author who writes about the Orisha, and he messaged me, and he said, you know what, with your spell work, instead of starting off talking about what you don't have, like my spell starts with money is tight and times are hard, start talking about what you want to have. So there's going to be some changes to some of my spells. See, because you can't talk about faith when you live in defeat, when you live in discouragement. And you got to start off from, you can't live in want. You got to live in have. I'm going to have this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. And sometimes you don't even know the way to do it. When I wanted to move, I asked my sister, how did you get out of Chicago? How did you move? They put all their stuff in a truck and moved in with his sister and her husband's sister. And she said, you know what she told me? She said, write it down. Erykah Badu says that spelling is a spell. So you know what I did? I went and got a notebook and I wrote, move, 2016. And by the time it was done, I had crossed out 2016 and wrote move, 2015. I moved a year early. So that's my message for you all tonight. When I finished with her, I wasn't ready to go to bed. I put this desk together, but I'm like, and then I saw, and this girl's name is so beautiful, Desiree Rose or something like that. I just listened to her. She's got a beautiful voice. She's a beautiful person. She's got a cute bird. That's all I know about her. But she did the same thing, talking about that law of attraction. So many people out here, y'all playing witch. Because you are not saying, I can, I will. You're saying, I want and I need. No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. So I hope that somebody, and I know a couple of y'all said my video's better than church, but that's okay, baby. That's why we got church, and we're going to start preaching. My room holds 100 people. We're going to have not just me, but we're going to have very talented people from all walks of life, all types of practices, metaphysical beliefs, and scientists, alchemists, come to you and tell you how to fix your life, boo-boo. Because all of us together can build the perfect life. Individually, we ain't perfect, but together we are. So I encourage you guys to join the First African Temple of Ancestor Veneration. It is a church for people of color to venerate their ancestors, to claim that spiritual energy of our martyrs and our saints who have worked so hard for us. I hope to dear God, that I've helped to make them proud, that I am so far from where we started that I have actually did what I was supposed to do with all that they fought with. because people always want to throw Martin Luther King Jr. back in your face, but I think that living the dream is better than speaking the dream. So, everyone, be blessed. I hate putting things together, but I'm going to put this table together tonight. And my girls is coming on Friday, and then more of my girls is coming on Saturday. It's gonna be on and popping, and I will speak to you soon, and hopefully with more good news, because that's what I'm. Even when I feel bad, even when I was most depressed, and I have clinical depression, I used to have to tell myself every morning, okay, just put one foot on the floor. And then I'd have to work on the other foot, and then I say, okay, now I'm going to stand up. Yeah, you can come Friday night, you come Saturday night, you come whenever you want to. I'm here. Good night, Nikki. But as I drop this, IKEA stuff ain't that, it's nice, but it ain't that nice. I'm going to be banging at stuff before I can put it together. But anyways, yes, Columbus in the house. I look forward to seeing all of you all. This is one of the reasons why I've literally grown out of my house. I don't even know how that happened. I'm probably going to have to buy a bigger house at some point. But that's because I enjoy having you all here. So I look forward to you. Yeah, they have no words, but I'm a very visual person. I used to say I was a spatial idiot, and I stopped saying that about myself. Now I can put together anything I want to. I built a whole dollhouse. So, I put every single shingle on the roof type of dollhouse. I put wiring in the dollhouse. It ain't done because I ain't got no time, but the outside looks nice. So anyways, you all take care. Y'all know I love you. Stay black, stay proud, and stay loud. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.